Snow is starting to melt. They expected to be in the mid-50s today. So we are on our way to the park, and we're going to finish up this walking wear video and talk a little bit about the weather since we're already out in it. See you in a minute. Walkers, thank you for tuning in again. This is the second episode in regards to layering up for trail walking, and as you see, I have a scarf on here, I have on some fleece underneath. I also have a long sleeve t-shirt and some thermal. So it's always good to layer up when you're going out. It's about 42 degrees today if you include the wind chill, and we have just survived a snowfall here of an inch or two. The snow is starting to melt because they're expecting the weather to go up as far as maybe mid-50s today. So if you live in a region like I do, which is like mid between the two extremes, sometimes the temperature is just a little quirky. However, if you're in an environment where it's constantly cold, you want to still layer up because you just don't know what the wind chill factor is going to be, and you don't know how high your body temperature is going to go while you're walking. So I did have a couple of questions from some people that were on my Facebook page. They wanted to know a couple of things, and the first thing that they wanted to know was what was the coldest temperature that I actually walked in. That I actually walked in was 9 degrees when I started, and it was 14 degrees when I finished. It was in Lawrence, Illinois. And if those of you can remember, I think it was either 2011 or 2012, Chicago had a blizzard. And at the time, I was living in Chicago attending graduate school. So that Saturday, they actually had a scheduled walk, the group that I was a member of at the time. And Morris is located maybe about 45 minutes to an hour from Chicago. And there was still quite a bit of snow on the ground, and it was still quite cold. But I decided to take up the challenge and go ahead and layer up. I wore 2 sets of thermals, a long sleeve shirt, a fleece, a sweatshirt, and a puffer jacket. And by the time I got done, of course, I shed the puffer jacket, but it took care of me. And the only challenging part about it was because there was ice on the ground because of the snow. I had to look down a lot when I was walking, and I'm not used to doing that. The hottest temperature that I ever walked was, it was 88 degrees, and that wasn't including the humidity, which put it at about 93 or 94. And it was about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. And it was about the middle of July. And needless to say, it was a mess. Of course, you know, you can't layer up, but needless to say, I was soaking wet by the time I got home. I accepted that challenge, and am I willing to do it again? No. No. Appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please feel free to do so. Like, share, offer a comment or a suggestion. I'm welcome to any suggestions. I just really am enthusiastic about walking for leisure. For me, it's a spiritual thing. I'll be glad to share that in my next video as to why I started walking in the first place. And it's a great stress reliever. I mean, there are just so many benefits to walking that I'm willing to share with you. And I think in the next Off the Trails episode, I'm going to share some of those tips with you. So thank you again for tuning in. And like I said, you know, tune into my Facebook page, and my page is Peachy Pathfinder, of course, on Facebook. I'm posting updates about the channel daily, and also there are a few little interesting tidbits that might be helpful to you if you want to consider taking on fitness walking. Thanks so much for joining me today, but the trail is not over because your final step is to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell for new videos every Monday. And remember, the next walking adventure is closer to you than you think. See you next time.